Welcome, viewers. We're really excited to be out here at the National Western Stock Show in Denver, Colorado. We're really honored to sit down today with Jen Hanson with Hanson Ranch. Jen has had Highland cattle since 2018, located out of Elizabeth, Colorado. They have been showing and selling at the National Western Stock Show for several years. So we're just really honored to sit down with Jen today, and we're excited to be here with her and that she's given us her time. We're your hosts, Kimber and Seth King, and let's get started.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Me,
absolutely.
really.
Yeah, we do. Trevor, we miss you. We wish you were here, but we get it. So, Jen, if you don't mind, just start us out, kind of explain to us who Hanson Ranch is and kind of tell us about yourselves.
Yeah, we are a small ranch located in Elizabeth, Colorado, the base of the Rocky Mountains, just out on the plains there through the Palmer Divide. And Trevor and I are high school sweethearts since we were 14, 15 years old that, always kind of had this dream of starting a ranch. We're just a couple city kids that, are doing it. We might be a little crazy, but we're making it happen, and with family and friends and everybody, it's working.
That's awesome. So do you guys have a little bit of background with cattle or livestock? Kind of talk us through that, how you got started with Highland cattle.
Yeah. Trevor and I, 110% absolutely not. I grew up in the San Luis Valley, southern Colorado, that all of my friends had that. They all did 4-H. My parents are teachers. We didn't have time to have a ranch or do anything like that. I always loved animals. I was always the one bringing home strays. We had a million animals. But Trevor grew up in Canada and moved to Colorado when he was 10. But his grandfather and great-grandfather were into livestock in Canada. His grandfather dropped out of school in 7th grade and went to work for Canada Meat Packing, and then ended up becoming the president of the New Zealand Land Company, being recognized by the Queen. So he kind of always grew up with hearing these stories and pictures. I mean, we have a ton of stuff around the house from his side of the family with that, but with his dad's generation, he went on to be a doctor, his aunt went on to be a nurse or a lawyer, and it just kind of, the ranching stuff just kind of fell out. And so my side of the family, my grandparents had a really small farm in Ensign, between Ensign and Dodge City, Kansas. So they had that going for them. My dad grew up, I guess, working on the farm. I found out when we got cattle, he actually used to go and milk a dairy cow every day. I never knew that until we got cattle. But so we had, my side of the family had that. It kind of fell out with my dad's generation being, an educator, superintendent, my mom being a music teacher. And I feel like we're kind of coming back to our roots in a sense. Like it kind of seems very trendy with Instagram and everything kind of going back to that wholesome homesteading kind of thing, but it's been a dream of ours since we were in high school, and something that we're now able to attain, and we like it. It's fun. And
let's be honest, Highland cattle, part of Highland cattle is they are trendy. You can go to Target and buy a picture of a Highland cow.
I call them the Hobby Lobby cow.
Yeah. So that's part of it. That's something that we have to recognize.
Yes.
It's almost something that we have to just recognize, because it is part of what promotes the breed right now.
Yeah. It's important to get ahead of it and make people aware of how amazing an animal they are, and what they produce and what they can do for our land, for the sustainability of the land, the fact that they graze pretty much anything. They can go through the weather. We just had negative 35 wind chill the last couple days. I didn't have to worry about them. They were out in the blizzard when
living their best lives.
Yeah, horses are holed up in the barn.
Yep.
It's important that we get ahead of it. We recognize how popular they are, but it also gives us as an association and as breeders the opportunity to get ahead of it and say, hey, this is how amazing they are. Let's build off of all of this.
Well said.
How did you find Highlands as a breed to even
We've always loved Highlands. It wasn't, when we got into it in 2018, it wasn't that I remember, that they were really everywhere. I mean, we have Newfoundlands. We've always loved big furry animals. I mean, I have 4 Newfies right now. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what we have going on. But we've always loved the hair. I've loved, they're beautiful animals. They're amazing. And then when you really get into the heritage and where they come from, what they can go through, I mean, it's pretty fascinating when you really get into that history.
It is, and that's something we're going to touch on in future episodes. It's very interesting.
It's amazing.
So you guys have had Highland cattle since 2018. You guys, I would consider you guys first generation.
I would absolutely.
Yeah.
Or a hybrid.
You kind of came.
We could kind of be a hybrid.
We've been called hybrids because we both have ag family backgrounds where it kind of skipped that generation.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool how it's coming back. It's really kind of cool.
Yep.
So you guys work off the farm as well.
Yes, we have whole other lives beyond the ranch. Trevor is a Denver fireman on Rescue 2 here in Denver, Colorado. I'm a full-time real estate agent for about 12 years now with Remax, Accord out in Elizabeth. And so we have a whole other world, and we both had those jobs. Trevor's been on the fire department, I think, about 10 years. So we both had those jobs well before we started this ranching dream and making it happen. So we're very busy.
Do you guys have help? I mean, that's a lot to work full-time jobs and then come home and muck stall or put bedding out till 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Have another full-time job.
Have another full-time, our kids, No, we do. My in-laws, my mother-in-law and my stepfather-in-law are a huge help on the ranch. I mean, honestly, it could not be done without them. They were out as we're here. They were out bottle feeding our little calf at like 5 o'clock this morning. So they're amazing, and they come and they help us show. And then we have our friends, our fire family. If you come and see us at Stock Show, you're going to get to know all of them because they're here every year. They're excited. Cool. They're texting like, when are you going to be there? We're here to help you unload the trailer. We're here to water animals. We're here to help you dry. I mean, we have we have a big support group, and fire family is a big family. So it's really cool. It's really cool. So
being fairly new into the cattle world, Highland world, I mean, how'd you guys get started? Like, what advice did you seek someone out? Was there a mentor that kind of helped you along? Like, can you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah. So when being in real estate, I see properties come and go all the time. And so we had a property when we first moved out to rural Colorado that we absolutely loved. It wasn't attainable at the time. A few years later, it became attainable and it came on the market, and we jumped on it. And we closed the day after we had my daughter, and 2 weeks later, we were picking up our first 2 Highland heifers from Karen Miller with Colored Rain Ranch. We had no idea you could show Highlands, even though we'd come to Stock Show for years, just as spectators. I was one of those really clean, real cute done-up girls way back when. But so we bought our 2 first heifers. We went to pick them up, and Fluorescent from Karen, and she said, hey, these are 2 of my really good ones. Do you mind, letting me still show them so I can do Produce of Dame? And she did very well. Took Produce of Dame with one of them, which is amazing. And she said, if you guys want to learn how to show, I'll teach you.
Man.
And we thought, okay, I mean, let's try the show world, and we immediately were hooked. So Karen is the big wheelhouse behind getting us into the show world. She introduced us to a lot of people. I mean, Audra and Shane, John and Tina with J Bar T have been amazing. If you look at our lines, we love their bulls. I mean, they breed for bulls. They know what they're doing, and they're just amazing people. I can reach out to them anytime, and they've given us such good advice. There's so many other people. The Taylors, the Martin family, Taylor Martin and Jen Martin, I mean, they're, watching juniors grow up, with Keziah and watching those juniors. We learned a lot from the juniors over our years because those kids are just incredible. It blows my mind what they know, and what they're willing to teach people is amazing. So that's a huge, really kind of where we got our stepping. There's probably so many people I'm forgetting, but
shout out to those people.
Shout out to you guys. Know who you are. Yeah. I don't like being on camera. No.
So since we're kind of talking about the show world right now anyways, can you tell us a little bit about what is involved in that and maybe how someone who's never done it can get started, kind of slowly move into that, if they're wanting to start showing or whatever that might look like? Can you kind of walk us through that?
They find somebody that you can latch onto that's going to give you solid advice that's going to help you grow, like Karen did, like John and Tina did, like so many people have done, that they want to see you get better because that makes them better. And in the show world, you want to beat the best. So what's better than finding somebody that you can latch onto, that's going to teach you how to become the best. You beat them, they beat you. It's this whole stepping ladder, and
healthy
I feel like
competition.
It's a very good way to encourage growth within the breed. That you're going to get to a point once you find somebody that you can latch onto, that they're going to come to you and say, hey, I need some advice on this because maybe you're better in one area than they were, and they didn't realize, and you brought that out in them. I mean, you can have a healthy competition where I feel like a lot of times in the show world, especially the cattle world, even outside the Highland, it can get very political, it can get very ugly, and I don't think that that's healthy. I think that, as I always, in real estate, I've been in real estate a long time. Nobody ever knows anything about real estate. Nobody knows everything. I should say. Nobody knows everything about real estate. It's an ever-evolving industry, and we take classes and we, continue our education. We bounce ideas off of each other. It can be a very healthy environment that is great for the public. I kind of take that into the Highland world of, I want to have these mentors. I want to mentor people, come to me, ask me questions about things. I want to be able to go to you and ask questions about things. I mean, we're blessed from God to be keepers of these animals. Why not grow this breed into even more what it has the potential to be by using ourselves and working together? Is kind of how I feel about that.
And not to get ahead of ourselves, but people that are listening to this or watching this, would you be willing to kind of play that role for other
Absolutely.
people?
I get calls all the time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And we'll give out your information and your contact information if that's okay with you at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. So kind of back to the ranch, back to Hanson Ranch. Obviously you guys are showing. What's kind of your goal as a ranch? Like where's your focus? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Can you kind of tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. Trevor's very passionate about the beef side of it, so he really handles that. We do the grass-fed, grass-finished beef on the ranch. That all started because it's what we wanted to feed our kids, and it started after we got into cattle and thought, let's get a couple steers and let's feed our family and be fine. And then started talking to people about it, and the phone started ringing of, we want some of your beef, we want some of your beef. So wow, I'd say the beef side we really want to start growing. We're very hand selected, limited right now on what we sell, what we raise, and hopefully that will grow. We love the show world, with the registered stock, kind of growing that. The kids, they're getting more into it. Cannon and Willow, Willow was, God, we used to bring her here and she was in a pack and play. She wasn't even a year old. Her first year she couldn't even walk. So they're starting to get into it, so hopefully they do that some more. But we're here in the show world. I mean, we're here to stay, and we love that. And I think just growing off of that and growing the breed and the beautiness of the Highlands and what they are as a breed, I think is really where we want the ranch to go. Sure. Are we ever going to get huge and have 500 head? I don't know. It'd be cool, maybe one day.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to quit your job and be a full-time rancher, or would you like real estate enough to where you'd want to keep doing that?
I'm so passionate about real estate, I don't even know if I'd ever be able to retire. But
just doing like Highland specific.
Yeah, maybe I'll just sell Highland ranches.
Yeah,
maybe, and then just refer everybody out. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it got big enough, I couldn't carry real estate. I couldn't do it. Yeah. I'd still be in it.
Yeah.
Trevor, I don't know if he'll ever quit the fire department, too. It's one of those, you'd have to ask him.
Sure.
Yeah.
We would if he was here.
If he was here, we would
Trevor.
absolutely ask him.
We miss you. So let's bring it back to the show, because you're kind of talking about the show towards the end there.
Yeah.
So we're in Denver, Colorado, at the National Western Stock Show, at the National Highland Cattle Show and Sale. And you guys have sold at the sale now for 3 years?
This will be our 3rd year.
Okay.
Yep.
So kind of tell us a little bit about what's involved in the sale, if someone that doesn't know anything about it, if they want to sell here, can you kind of just tell us a little bit about that? Or buy.
Yeah. The buying is a huge thing. I recommend to people that are buyers that are looking, for animals, to get new genetics in your line. We all match up animals. I have this bull that, I want to put with this heifer or with this cow. I want more height. I want more bone density. I want whatever I want. It's a really cool place to get some new genetics. And I think that that's really important that the sale offers that, because again, it's highlighting the breed. We don't want to be, too specific on what we're selling. If you want to get involved in the sale, it's not as scary as you may think. Just jump in, come find me. Come find me and I'll walk you through all of it, because I've had all the questions. I've sat up since 2 o'clock in the morning and, run through all the things. It's not that scary. Start promoting your animal. Social media and things like that are very important. The association, they're there. Heather's great with answering questions. Everybody that works in this sale, they've been awesome guiding us, because Karen, I think in the past she had sold animals in the auction, but it's not that she had done it recently, so it was something that we kind of put our feelers out there and, we're going to figure it out. She had some guidance for us, but a lot of it was, okay, we're going to go to these meetings, we're going to talk to people, and it's just ask the questions. Find the people that you can ask the questions to that genuinely want to see you do well and genuinely want to see you succeed in the auction and do well with your herd, because then in turn, they do well.
And it seems like the national show is a good place to network with people, to meet people. It seems like a lot of times you can meet people online and then you can actually meet them in person once you get to either the national show or a regional show or something like that.
Yeah.
So just networking that way, as well might help out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you do other shows outside of
We do the Elbert County Fair. I shouldn't say the Elbert County Fair. The Mountain States Highland Cattle Association show. I'm on the board with that. And the last 3 years we've had it at the Elbert County Fair out in Kiowa. And so we do that one. And I really like having it out in Elbert County, because we've had a huge concentration of new breeders that have come in that, we're all kind of there in Elbert County and Weld County, just north of us, Adams County. There's a lot of people that come in from out of state. They've got good accommodations. It's very laid back kind of feel there. You can bring your camper and you can camp right next to your cattle. It's a really, really cool show to come to.
Sounds like it's a good place to learn also, if you're not if you're not real experienced maybe showing.
Yeah. It's a your local association is a very good place. That's a good point to start showing. Because you kind of get your feet wet. We started National Western and they said, okay, you're going to go in the ring, and everyone's running around stressed out, and I'm like, I don't know why you're stressed out. I'm just walking in a ring, and I had no idea. It's stressful. But do it. But your local association is a good one to join and a good one to start showing there and meeting people. Even if you just show up.
Sure.
Someone will be there to help you.
Start talking to people.
Yeah.
So you showed today part of the junior show?
Yes, so Luna was in the senior showmanship with Rory Baxter, and then we had the best pair of bulls. We were in that class this afternoon. So
great. And then tomorrow's Friday for people who are listening. Tomorrow is the
open show.
The open show, and you guys are showing.
We're showing Luna, and then we're showing 2 of our bulls.
Okay.
So it's
great.
a big show.
Will you guys specifically be showing?
I'm hoping that too.
Okay.
I don't like being on camera. I don't like being.
Will Trevor be showing?
Yes, I believe Trevor will be showing.
So what I need you to do is ask him see if he minds if I get a little footage of him showing.
Yeah. Get the mustache.
Yeah,
He's got a great firefighter mustache.
I'll zoom in on the mustache. But yeah, no, we might throw in a clip or something to you guys showing if you're okay with it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Here.
It's really good.
Cool.
He does really well with it. He does really well under pressure. Firefighter.
Yeah.
They do well
Sure.
under pressure.
He's
They do
built
well
for
under
it.
pressure. Yeah, that's what they do.
Makes sense.
And former military, so
Yeah.
that's what they do. But yeah, so we'll be showing in those, and
Okay.
hopefully we do well.
Great. And then the sale is on Saturday this year, correct? It has been Sundays in the past?
It's always on Saturdays.
Always on Saturday.
Sundays are checkout days.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can
Okay.
still be kind of crazy on Sundays with checkout days.
Okay.
But yeah.
Fantastic. One question that I like to ask everybody, because kind of the drive behind this podcast is to get information out to new breeders. And some people might consider us new breeders. We've only had cattle for 5-6 years, right? But some people are just thinking about getting cattle, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of part of the Highland world, is a lot of people are really new. And Kimber and I want to get information out to those people, you know.
Yes.
So what is a piece of advice that you would give to somebody maybe that's just thinking about starting out with cattle, Highland cattle, or maybe they've only had them for a year or two? What's some advice that you would give to them?
Yeah.
Pressure's on.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many
This has
things.
some really good advice.
I think just really, if you're passionate about it, just do it. Life's too short. If you wait, it's just another day longer until you're going to actually do it. And find somebody that you can really latch onto. I think that's really important. We've had so many people that helped us over the years that we wouldn't be where we are. You know, we're not big winners in the ring or anything, but we're passionate about it.
And you're having a good time.
Yeah, and we're having a good time. It's good for the family.
I mean, you guys are obviously successful. You keep showing up. You've done really
we don't
well.
go away. we get an idea in our mind, and we're not going away.
But you've done really well selling animals here at the national sale as well. So it seems like the theme is find someone that you trust, that you connect with, that is willing to feed into you.
Yes.
And maybe even compete with you to make you better.
Because if you're in the show world, you want to beat the best. So what better to bring up the best, and you guys compete against each other? I mean, it's only better for the breed.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Absolutely.
You know? And it's cool. I mean, there's today in the bull ring. I mean, one of my girlfriends that we kind of brought into this world, you know, Sammy. She beat me in best pair of bulls. Like, what better of a day, you know, than somebody that I've helped mentor and,
that's awesome.
you know, go through this, her and the Martin family. I mean, they helped mentor us. So honestly, it's kind of that full circle, exactly what I've talked about. Like, it's, you find your team.
And then next year,
you never know.
Absolutely, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And I'm going to win.
Yeah, and it's just really cool. You know, you want to see the best come up, and to help somebody become the best of what their potential is really, really cool to see that. Whether or not you win, I think it's, you know, as a personal side of it, I think there is a whole side of the show world that people lose sight of what we're showing, what we're doing, who we're blessed to be keepers of. You know, I think that a lot of people in the show world lose sight of that. As somebody coming from not being in the show world, not growing up in this, I have a whole outside view of what the public sees, and I think some of it isn't so pretty. But the one thing I do love about Highlands is we're kind of a tight-knit group, and I think people see that. But I think we really need to keep sight of what we're raising and not we're humans. We're greedy. We're very, very greedy people. And I think it's very hard to step back and say, you know what, I need to take time and reflect on what I have and what I have to offer this world and what I've been blessed with. And that's one reason that we don't clip our animals in the show ring. Everybody knows that, so that's nothing new. And I will not, you know, clip my animals in the show ring. I want to show a Highland for what a Highland is. Like they're shown in Scotland and Ireland and Europe. I think that that's very important. And it's a reason I don't win, but that's okay. I go to sleep at night knowing that I'm showing the animal for how magnificent it is. And I think that's important.
I agree. I think that is really important to preserve the breed.
I'd like to see it come back to that. So.
Sure. That's great. Well
maybe
said.
It will, maybe it won't.
Well said. Whether people agree with you or not.
Whether people agree with me or not.
Well said.
Bring on your opinion. Do it. And we all have our opinions.
Yeah, and that's okay. And that's what this podcast is for.
Good.
Let's get opinions out there. Let's get information out there, you know.
Yeah.
And then people can decide what works best for them.
Yeah. And in a good, healthy way. I mean, I like
that.
Yeah. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's cool.
Thanks.
Before we wrap up,
I
want you to talk about your picture.
Yes.
That you have here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And where this came from.
Speaking of auction, that is little TJH Marigold there, and CRR Dash to Diamonds.
The one that sold 2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
It was 2020 when the auctions went crazy, and it was our first year being in the auction, and she went crazy. For that.
I think so. There's a lot of crying.
There was a lot of crying.
I remember a lot of crying.
There's probably a video somewhere I cried. I still some days cry about it.
I didn't realize that, I guess, when we were there, because we had just met you, because we had just met Sammy and everything, that was your first.
That was our first
sale.
Yeah.
So that is a
big
huge deal. I mean, she went for
a lot. That was kind of the year of the auction that kind of changed the Highland cattle prices.
Yeah.
And her being a little white heifer, and after that we kind of saw white Highlands becoming this huge thing. I mean, I look back on videos of that and I'm like, she was something special.
Yeah.
She was definitely something special. But yeah, so photography.
Well,
don't mind us.
Don't mind us. Yes, there's a beer behind there. Photography, my girlfriend Sammy, that a lot of you guys know, she has kind of helped grow I have a passion for photography. It's not that I do it full time or anything like that. It's really, real estate is a stressful world, being a former military wife with Trevor, and a firefighter wife. Life can get really stressful, so it's kind of my stress relief to go out with the animals and photograph them and just hang out with them, and so that's kind of a little side thing I've taken on, like I have all kinds of time.
That's awesome.
to do that.
And do you sell them?
We do sell these on our website, HansonRanchColorado.com.
Okay.
We've got some photography. I don't keep up with the website as much as I should, but we sell prints here at Stock Show, and if there's something that you see on there, if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram and I post a picture and you're, hey, I really love that picture, can I get a print? I might not have it on the website, but absolutely. Reach out to me and I can get you a custom print. I can turn it black and white. I can, you can do it in Canvas. You can totally customize that, but I can absolutely set it up to where you can purchase that print for wherever you need. It's just my little passion project.
Awesome.
I guess.
And speaking of the showing world, we're just never going to end this episode.
No, you're good.
Speaking of the showing world, and that you have prints that you sell here, you guys have all sorts of little goodies. I feel like that is something that I did not realize in the show world, that people have little booths set up, and there are flyers and information and all this stuff, and that
pins
it's
and
not just I just assumed the barns were for people getting ready, that was your backstage.
Well, Aka has
that's a huge thing.
That was not an area for us to be at, and Sammy I think had brought us and was like, and I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
People are just socializing, and it's not just people showing,
which is very
with each other.
different from the Angus world, from the Hereford world. I feel like, because coming in from being the general public for so many years, coming to Stock Show, we used to just walk through the barns and you wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
No one had booths. We never came to a Highland show. I never saw the Highlands. They were probably out in the yards still then, and that's why we never saw them. But that's a big point, that come and see us and talk to us about our animals. I mean, we love talking about them.
It's another reason
it's
to
cool.
show up.
We love talking about our animals. Yeah. I mean, that hair, we love talking about that all day long.
Yeah. I mean, I see people posting on Facebook all the time looking for animals, to buy. Come to the national show and sale, and you can
the best
meet
place
people.
To do it.
Yeah.
Yes, the best place. Even if you're looking for embryos, if you're looking for semen, if you're anything in the Highland world, if you have them and you're looking for shoots, if you're looking for pointers, even if you don't show, even if they're not registered, We don't care.
We learned all sorts of stuff today. We asked questions about, what did we learn? About the ultrasounding for the bulls.
It's
I was like, what's the white stuff on their sides? I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's a whole, come and ask questions and get pointers. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell us one more time, your website, your Instagram, Facebook, how do people get a hold of you?
Everything is HansonRanchColorado.com, and it's Hanson with an O. So Hanson, Colorado, Hanson Ranch, Colorado.com. So Instagram's Hanson Ranch, Colorado. Facebook's Hanson Ranch, Colorado. And you'll find us.
Can we plug your stuff in the description of the episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
Find it in the description of the episode.
Cool. Well, thank you again for your time.
Yeah.
I feel very honored that you're sitting down with us. I know you guys are really busy.
Your first
We're honored for you guys
first episode, but first interview.
Yeah, you're very first.
We're honored that you guys asked us and that you reached out to us. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome.
And let's go enjoy the rest of the stock show.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right.
And don't you dare go to Target and buy a Highland picture.
Or Hobby Lobby. Don't do it. Don't do it. They don't pay photographers.
Or do whatever you want because we live in America.
True. But I'm going to come find you. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Okay.